Now, Booch, I can understand why you're running late. After all, you're looking at the new male soap opera moment prediction champion, looking to repeat and then three-peat as he worked towards Money in the Bank this weekend and Summerslam right around the corner. But with me, the honorable mention, the encyclopedia of modern day and yesteryear wrestling, the one, the only. Am I getting paid for this? No, you are not. Vincent Kennedy Bucci.
Wow, that is the perfect trifecta of backhanded compliment, amazing compliment, and nostalgia all locked into one sentence. I love that. That was great.
Backhanded, Booch. I was very forthright about insulting you. Can't understand why you would think otherwise.
I try to be nice about it, people. I really did.
But here we are, Booch. We have so much to get to, folks. If you didn't catch us last time, we did a recap. Hell in a Cell was something else, Booch. If we're not going to go back over it. If you missed it, just listen to it. It was about 30 minutes worth your time. A lot of fun. And of course, in case you missed it, you are looking at the new and will continue to be male soap opera moment prediction champion here, the Wenz. But behind me is actually, my friends, the kiss of death. Behind me is what lies ahead this weekend. And Booch, I want to talk about it because you're here, and why not, right?
Exactly.
We have some matches to discuss, Booch. But first, I want to talk about why in the last episode that I brought about curses on this briefcase behind me. And the reason, folks, I do this is because this, my friends, once you open it, it's like the Ark of the Covenant in Indiana Jones. When they look at it too long, they melt.
Yes.
This is a career killer. This briefcase, with the exception, obviously, there are outliers, Brock Lesnar being one of them, but he's an outlier himself, hitting the Wikipedia department. And we looked at just last year's winners. Last year, Booch, quick encyclopedia, who won both the men's and women's Money in the Bank without looking it up.
Okay. Big E and Nikki ASH.
Yeah, and how are both of them doing right now? How's that working for you?
Well, Nikki ASH, I have no idea where she is. And Big E is out with a neck injury. So so he's out with a neck injury. So we'll see if he's coming back or not.
Yeah, so it's like the Madden Curse, the Money in the Bank curse, an injury. He's on the cover of the Money in the Bank. I'm just saying, there you go. 2020. Do you remember? Shoosh. Otis.
Right. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
How's he doing? Is he
He's
part
doing
of
that? He's doing that Alpha Academy stuff, but I'm so mad he didn't get to cash that in.
Did it work for him? How's it working for him? Again. How's it working for him?
I know, it's sad. They broke up one of the most entertaining tag teams of all time, gave the briefcase to the most undeserving person of all time, and then we had the eight days of the biggest mistake in wrestling leading to that. And then Bobby Lashley finally saving us all from this hell. Praise be to the Almighty. But that was a horrible kiss of death. And then the women, it was Asuka. And of course, although it did work out great for her because she didn't even have to rest, she had to cash in the briefcase. They just handed her the belt because the man got knocked up and didn't drop it to the title and didn't drop the belt to the person she should have dropped the belt to.
But she did drop her panties to Seth freaking Rollins.
Yes.
And everybody, if you've been on the interwebs for some time, has seen Seth in action, not only in the ring, but outside the ring, if you know what I mean. And let's take it back one more year. This is the last of the history, but this solidifies my point. Our 2019 women's Money in the Bank winner, Bayley. How's she doing? Is she a champion right now?
No, in fact, she's been out with an injury. If she is coming back, I don't know when. They're really Bayley's been sitting on the sidelines. I don't know if she's I'm assuming she's healed by now. I think they're just waiting for a time to bring her back I don't know what they're waiting for though.
What I'm waiting for is for people as I fade in. I'm like the picture in Back to the Future here. As I grab the guitar here and try and strum. The picture that I'm waiting for people to see, Booch, is the clear one. It's the one in front of you. Is the curse of the briefcase. I would intentionally ask the booking committee for me not to win. Please let me not even get close to winning. Let me be the first one out of the picture. Like, throw me over the barricade, faux injury. That's it. Lights out. I'm done. And I wobble to the back. Because this right here, with the exception of Brock Lesnar in 2019, is a kiss of death. But here we are at death's doorstep from Las Vegas, Nevada. Yes. Allegiant Stadium. It's going to be off the chain. Booch, you're going to be in our sister city of Alabama. Is that correct?
I'm going to be in Boaz, Alabama, for American Championship Wrestling. Buff and I will be down there in Boaz. So I'm gonna have to see it Sunday is when I'm gonna watch Money in the Bank. So sadly, I will not be doing my live chat that I usually do on my phone this time around. But I'm gonna catch it Sunday. But I'm not big into spoilers, so I'm not like, I don't care. Like, if somebody sends me, oh, look who won, I'll still watch it regardless because you know, the recap. But speaking of spoilers, before we get into anything, I'm hoping there's something I really want to talk about because
Logan Paul signing with the WWE.
Oh, we can talk about that too, but
go ahead. I was
kind of segueing into spoilers here because when you guys go back and hear the Hell in a Cell recap, I had something very big that I wanted to bring up because something huge happened the very next night on Raw. But Wenz insisted I not talk about it because apparently I was giving spoilers, which threw me off. I figured he would have at least caught the highlights of something. So I didn't realize I was springing something on him. I thought I was telling something that was.
Booch, you know we do no show prep here in Wenz World. It's exactly all off the hip, baby. That's real radio.
But we got to talk about this because, of course, one of the big things that happened was the Judgment Day getting victory over AJ Styles, Liv Morgan, and Finn Balor.
Okay.
We come back the next night on Raw.
Okay.
And the Judgment Day says, we've recruited a new member. Finn Balor comes out. Mm-hmm. Finn Balor now joins the Judgment Day. He said, I saw clarity after last night.
Sure.
I now realize this is where I need to be. We all got to talking, and we decided that the Judgment Day is ready. Damian Priest grabs the microphone. He says, we're ready to get rid of the one last thing that's holding us back.
Wait. Before you reveal, I mean, as I'm watching this, Booch, as I'm watching this unfold, I'm thinking, what is or who is this one thing? And then it ends up being the rated R superstar himself.
Yeah.
Edge, like, how does this happen? The Hurt Business. Two fine examples of gimmicks that could have worked, that really could have worked and could have used some discipleship and leadership from veterans, from somebody like MVP, who has been around this. You've worked with him in other promotions, real talk, outside of kayfabe stuff here on the show. These are awesome potential storylines that are just squandered by the WWE creative. And I don't understand it. Like, why blow it up so soon? For what? Booch, I want to get your insight on that because I know you're boiling right now. Go.
It was stupid. And I'm going to tell you why it was stupid because, okay, unless Edge has some type of injury that we don't know about, and he's going to be off TV for several months, like unless he got seriously injured, that's a valid reason. I'd be like, okay, you got to write him off TV. How do you write him off TV? You kick him out of the Judgment Day. But regardless, Edge doesn't have to wrestle all the time. All he's got to do is cut promos, sit there in the suit, keep on going, make this thing interesting. There's a million different things that could have happened. This was a great faction. And you know, to those of us who watch, if you watch everything, if you're an AEW fan, the Judgment Day has best been described as the House of Black done right. Because if you're an AEW fan, you know the House of Black is a joke. It is. Malachi Black, Aleister Black, Brody King, Buddy Murphy as Buddy Matthews, and they're trying to do this thing. It looks stupid. It's been stupid from the very beginning. It's a stupid faction that nobody cares about unless you're a mark. Nobody is enjoying the House of Black. But the Judgment Day was doing it perfectly. Hey, we're embracing our inner selves. We're taking what is ours. We're standing up for things. Edge was controversial. He was going off on the marks. He was making fun of everybody like, oh, you can't do purple. That's the Undertaker. And it was funny. Edge was really making this a real heel faction, and he was reinventing himself during a time where he didn't need to. He could have just rode the radar superstar till the wheels fall off. But then, for those of you guys who like me and you read dirt sheets, we dig deep into this and we find the real source of why Edge is not in the group anymore.
What happened?
It turns out they wanted to make the Judgment Day one of those supernatural factions that do like the supernatural goofy magic stuff that you see like dark factions do. Like, I'm trying to find a way to describe it. Kind of like when Undertaker would shoot lightning and stuff, or when the Fiend would do a bunch of crazy stuff like fire coming up and all that. They wanted to make them a supernatural group, and Edge said, no, I don't want to do that. That's a bad idea. So instead of listening to a veteran and going, you know what? Maybe that's not a bad idea. They're like, you know what? Let's kick Edge out of the group so these three will do what we want them to do.
Okay, so if I'm those three, I wonder, first of all, contract stuff aside, you're pretty much at the mercy of the creative team nowadays, right?
Pretty
do
much
what they tell you to do, or hey, good luck elsewhere. And there are other options, but hey, if you make it to the WWE, you've made it. Like that's whether you like them or not, cheeseball or not, terrible story or not, that's the truth, people. Whether you like the WWE or not, when you make it there, you've made it. And they're going to squander your talent, and then you're going to find success elsewhere. But that's the goal. That's every kid's goal. And maybe not 10 years from now, because by then AEW would have been something they've been watching when they were growing up. But since we were kids, and before us, and so that it is what it is, and it has lost its luster, and they've catered to this PG audience. The only thing they could do is return it to the Attitude Era, and then take advice from somebody like Edge, who's been around, who's done it all, who has reeked of awesomeness, has gone all the way from the shallot, from the Brood, to reeking of awesomeness with his brother Christian, to possibly shepherding a fantastic faction. And that's what I don't understand. But if you are these three people and you are under contract, how much pushback can you give, and what good does it do? But also behind the scenes, like, how do you make this work? Because it's almost one of those situations where, sure, the people calling the shots think they know what's going to work, but when it doesn't work, how do you resurrect that? No pun intended with the supernatural, but why bring Edge back into the story, into these matches, into being on TV, taking up valuable minutes on TV, if you're not going to listen to the guy? Like, if you're not going to take his word for something worth more than some guy who's been part of WWE for 10 years, which is nothing. Well, I've been watching since I was a boy, but I don't you know what I'm saying? Like, this guy has been living it. Like, he went to WrestleMania as a kid, and he's there in the audience, and they show him like, hey, I was in Canada. Like, this is when I realized I wanted to do this. So you're going to bring him back for a WrestleMania moment versus Roman Reigns, right? You're going to bring him back and make him, or not? Was it WrestleMania?
No. They brought him. No, he came back in 2020 at the Rumble. Didn't win.
Rumble. Yeah. Okay.
Then he had the feud with Randy Orton. Then he tore his tricep. He was out for a while. Came back the next Royal Rumble 2021. Won the whole thing won the whole thing. They go to WrestleMania. He's now in the main event
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, 10 years to the day.
10 years to the day he surrendered the title live on Monday Night Raw from his neck injury. It's 10 years to the day. And not only did they not put the belt on him, which they should have, they threw Daniel Bryan in there for no goddamn reason.
Well, it's because Daniel Bryan is part of the Bella Twin faction now, and John Cena, and you know how he's tied. It's all this stuff, dude. I can't take the politics of it. But
it was ridiculous.
Like,
Daniel Bryan had no reason to be in that main event.
How do you trust a guy to headline Mania, who no matter what, doesn't matter who the name is. How do you trust somebody, man or woman, and then not take their advice? Like, hey, and I don't know how that discussion went. I don't know how respectful he was or whatever, or, you know, the size of the ego of the people in that room. But the bottom line is like, hey, why won't the supernatural work? Like, explain to me why. And if at the end of that, we're like, okay, here's why we should test it and see what happens. Like, I could see it working because it worked for Bray. They just abandoned it. You know, it can work for some people, and it worked for Undertaker for years. You just had to, in moderation. Like, you can't kill the gimmick. You can't do too much too fast. But I'd love to get Edge on a podcast and be like, hey, dude, like, can you level what happened and which way would you have taken it if you had the opportunity to do that?
Exactly. I mean, they were on the right track already, just being guys who were, you know, going to take their destiny into their hands and recruit more people to join. Like, Edge was on the right track. I mean, it was great because, like I said, it was a different side of him. The entrance music was amazing.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like, it was a whole different side. But now when Edge comes back, he's obviously coming back as a babyface. He's obviously going to fight the Judgment Day. The question is, who are you going to pair Edge up with? That would be the question. Like, do him and AJ Styles suddenly bury the hatchet out of nowhere and then they go after them? Because I'm sure AJ's got questions because Finn, they were on the same team the night before. So I don't know what the hell you do. I have no idea. And I'm usually good at stuff like this. I wouldn't even know how to even bring Edge back to feud with them. If I don't know, I can't imagine they know.
This sounds like, Booch, you know what this sounds like? One of those situations when you're in the boardroom in Connecticut, right? And Vince and rah, 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 this is what we're gonna do, or whoever's in there, and it's not just him. You know, he's probably far more removed than we know of. He's old, by the way.
Well, he's still in creative somewhere. I don't know how
he's doing it. He's there, but you know what I mean. He's not. I don't think he's as involved as we think. I'm just gonna say that. And Shane's not involved anymore. Stephanie's taken a back seat. So this is what I think happened. I think Edge pushed back, and he may have put his you-know-what on the table and said, look, this isn't going to work. I've been in this business for 4 times the amount of this room combined. And I'm telling you right now, if you do this, you will fail. Something like that. And maybe he's earned that right. Maybe he hasn't. I don't know. I'm not the judge there. But I do know that when you're a room full of the brains and the people that will defend the storyline to the death because they wrote it and they're not going to rewrite it because in their brain it works, even though they're in no way in touch with the real WWE universe. I'm talking about the people that sit up in the 400s at the live events. I'm not talking about the bottom area. You paid more than $100. I don't want your opinion. I want the opinions of the people that can't afford a t-shirt. Those are the people. Those are the writers that I want. Like, who do you want? And let's give you just enough of what you want to keep you coming back. It's a deal. It's a street deal. It's like the street, like street, give us all the smoke. Give me some of the smoke. Don't give it all.
Yeah.
Make me want some, but give me enough and make it make sense. And this makes no sense. And to me, why bring a guy back, like I said, to headline Mania? We got off topic. That's what we do here. But why bring him back to a headline Mania ultimately? Bring him back on an anniversary day that's like lifetime meaningful bucket list level things, and then have it end like this story, like, and then somebody stomping and pouting out of the room, or can you believe he talked to me like that? It's like, it just seems like a reactionary decision, and now they're gonna have to suffer, and we're gonna suffer because it's like somebody got mad and said something they didn't mean, and now the story's blown up when it wasn't supposed to. So
exactly, and and I would love to hear what Edge's side of it is, because this is the secret to dealing with creative, and I've learned this from other podcasts. if you go into a creative meeting, ultimately, if the head of creative, which is usually Vince, if he puts his foot down and says, this is what you're doing, then it's happening. You're not getting out of it. But if you're going to reject what the creative has, and this is the problem most guys have when they go in there, you need to have an alternate solution that makes sense. Because if you come to me and say, I don't want to do this, it goes, okay, what's your idea? And you don't have an idea, you're stuck. You're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
But, and like Stone Cold said, that was his mistake. Because he would complain about something. They'd ask him, what do you want to do? And Austin wouldn't have an idea because his brain didn't work that way. So he would get stuck. So that was like, okay, well, if you don't like this idea and you don't have a better idea, show starts in an hour. What are we going to put out? So that's the trick, is you got to know what you want to say before you go in there. And Edge is that kind of guy. I think I want to believe he came in there and said, okay, how about I do this? Why don't we go here? How about that? And then make it work. Like somehow, I know, like Jericho used to pitch ideas all the time, and sometimes Vince took them, sometimes he didn't. Like the big most recent story was at WrestleMania 28 when he went up against CM Punk for the WWE title. Vince originally said that match was going to be a 2-minute squash. Originally, that was the original plan.
Wow. Just
go out there and do 2 minutes. And Jericho said, Vince, we can't do that. It's a WWE title match. And Vince said, Chris, for the last several weeks, you have talked about CM Punk's father having a drinking problem.
Oh, I remember that. Oh my gosh.
He said, you've talked about his sister having a drug problem. You covered him in alcohol live on TV. And Vince's exact words were, what the fuck do you think you're going to be able to do out there? A hip toss, drop down, leapfrog?
Not safe for the whole family.
Sorry. There was a quote. He said, what do you think you're going to do out there? A hip toss, a drop down, a leapfrog, a sunset flip? You can't do regular wrestling with this much emotion behind it. Punk's not going to come out there and wrestle you. He's going to come out there and try to kill you. Mm-hmm. And Jericho kind of went, yeah, I guess that's a good point. And he said, so what can we do? And they came up with the idea. That's why, if you remember, they announced it. If CM Punk is disqualified or counted out, he loses the WWE title. Remember that stipulation?
Wow. Good callback.
That was thrown in at the last minute to allow them to have a decent wrestling match, because now, psychology-wise, Punk can't let his emotions get the better of him. He has to actually wrestle him, because if he doesn't, he loses the title, which is Jericho's whole plan. It's like, now I can't lose my cool because then he wins.
I remember
I have
that.
to retain the title. So that's why they added that in, because otherwise you can't have a regular wrestling match with that kind of emotion. Don't believe me? I'll give you another call back.
Well, hold on. Before you get there, our sponsors are in the ear. They say we have to keep it moving, Booch. You know how that rolls. So we got to keep it moving here. So that's just an example, right?
Yeah.
Good call about the Judgment Day. It needs to be talked about. It doesn't need to be buried, but somebody's talking about it, and we are those somebodies. Yes. Darn it. Here we are. All right. So here we are. It's a new day, sort of. I don't think any of them are doing anything. But hey, let's talk about Money in the Bank. But first, Booch, do you want to start with the men's or the women's? It's up to you.
Let's see. Let's start with the men.
Okay. We'll start with the men's. You see faces behind me, Booch. You see some faces. Okay. So from this side all the way over, hold on, my finger. It's weird. It's tricky. Here we go. The bro. Oh, look, it's like the snake. It's like the viper here. Viper looks a little stoned or something. He's kind of waving all around. He doesn't know what's going on here. So you got Riddle, the arcade bro, man, for sure. That's going to be so cool. And then you have Seth freaking Rollins. And then the Scottish psychopath, Omos. What the hell is this guy? Where is he? What is he doing? Is that Sheamus? Is that right?
That's Sheamus, yes.
Let me dip down. Is this correct? Is this the right
That's
picture?
Sheamus. That's Sheamus, yeah.
This is the right picture. Sponsored by Applebee's, right? And is that Credit One? I don't know.
Credit One, yeah.
who's sponsoring this. I just wanted to duck down to make sure that that's right, because last time I checked, Booch, he would have been good in this match 15 years ago. Like, what is he doing in this match? His career is going nowhere. Why is Sheamus in this match? This is a wasted opportunity that WWE has disafforded us, if that's a word. If it's not, it is now. Own the words. Why is he in this match, Booch?
Because they need somebody in there. You got big guys in there already. Sheamus can hang with them. He's still got an impressive resume, even though they haven't done much with him lately. His resume still speaks for itself, and I'll do the same thing they do in creative. If you took Sheamus out of there, who would you put in his place that's not in there?
I don't know. Anybody. Start naming people. Go. Start naming people. Go. Who are not in this match.
Madcap Moss, Baron Corbin, Ricochet. Let me see. Shinsuke Nakamura. Let me see who else. AJ Styles. Then again, yeah, actually, if I was going to replace him, it'd probably be Styles.
You answered your own question.
It would probably be
there
Styles.
You go.
But I'm not mad that Sheamus is in it, but
you get it. But you get my point. It's like the purpose of this match is whoever wins this match is guaranteed an opportunity at the WWE Championship. Do you honestly think that Sheamus in 2022 is going to be considered as a legit contender to cash in that briefcase and beat Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, whoever it is in 2 months?
I mean, here's the thing.
Really? Think about it, dude.
I am thinking about it. He's done it before, and B, at this point,
this is insanity.
I'm saying at this point, like we said before, Roman has beaten everybody. I'm surprised Sheamus isn't one of the few guys who hasn't stepped in the ring with Roman Reigns yet.
Are you serious? You really think? I mean, let's. I'm not trying to sound crazy right now, Booch, but this is making me crazy. Like, are you serious, right? I'm not talking about 2010, 2015, back when he used to have the huge Celtic cross, all that. I remember the spiky hair, all that. It's no more. Like, that was a long time. That was back when John Cena was wrestling. Yeah, that's been a long time, Booch. Is John Cena in this picture? The only guy that doesn't belong here, besides the Slender Man over here,
Sami Zayn, yeah, I don't know,
is this guy. I don't get. It's like, why not put, I don't know, Ricochet, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura? You said he's in a group full of big guys. Guys that was Shinsuke not a contender? Was he not in a championship match not too long ago? My point is, I'm not sitting here.
The only thing he wasn't. He just got super kicked by the Usos, and then we didn't see him again. But he should have fought Roman if for no other reason to put him on a pay-per-view and Roman just squash him.
The point
Shinsuke wasn't going to beat him. He wasn't credible enough. You don't have a lot of credible contenders for Roman anymore. So sometimes you got to dig into your old bag of tricks. And Sheamus, in my opinion, would be one of the old bag of tricks, where it'd be like, okay, I could see a scenario based on size and badass fighting where Sheamus could do it. Now, I'm just saying, would I have picked Sheamus in the beginning of Roman's title run when we didn't expect it to go 2 years? Absolutely not. But when he's bashed and smashed and stacked people on top of each other, I'll even use Brock's term, beaten, victimized, conquered everybody, you got to find somebody who looks remotely credible. And Sheamus is one of the few that I would see as remotely credible in beating Roman at this point, because he's bashed over everybody else. He has steamrolled everybody else. Unless you reshuffle the deck and give him somebody who's already fought, which they're doing with Brock at SummerSlam, and they're making it a last man standing match. I don't know what else. Who else? We always keep saying, who else? Sheamus is one of the few. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't have picked him 2 years ago, but at this point, He's one of the few that has the size and can fight. And if he beat Roman, it'd be somebody with a resume that beat him.
I get it. I get it. But isn't the purpose of this match to like, okay, look at the other people in this match. It's like, which one of these don't belong? Okay, besides obviously the mystery person here, who, by the way, let's make our bets, right? Do we know who this person is? Will we know as of
I have
SmackDown?
No idea. It can't be Cody because he's still recovering from his injury, so it can't be him. I don't know what guy is on the sidelines right now that they could bring back. Maybe Big E if his neck is healed. I don't know where he's at recovery wise, but it could be him. But it's got to be somebody returning. I just have no idea who it could be. I am completely in the dark.
Well, it's going to be interesting. But out of the people that we know are in this match,
yes,
Booch, would you like to go first, or would you like to defer to the current champion and future champion, if we're being honest?
I'll go first because I know exactly who I want.
Who do you want? Who do you want, or who do you think is going to win?
Both.
Okay, same person?
Got it. Same person.
RK Bro, right? No? Okay. Not even
in your wildest dreams. Never. If he wins, we're gonna have a not safe for the workplace episode if he wins next time. Where it's not gonna be safe for the workplace. I will say this: the guy I'm convinced is gonna win. I'm going with Seth freaking Rollins, and the reason I'm going with Seth Rollins is because you got Roman and Brock going for the championship. It's a last man standing match. I could see a scenario where at SummerSlam, Seth cashes in that briefcase. Now, the last time he cashed it in on these two, it was because Brock had signed a new deal with WWE and wasn't leaving. So they didn't want Roman, because originally Roman was going to win at WrestleMania 31 because I thought Brock was leaving. But he decided to stay, signed a contract, but they weren't ready for Brock to job yet. So they decided to have Rollins cash in, make it a triple threat. He curb stomped Roman Reigns, pinned him 1, 2, 3. I think we're going to see it again, but in reverse order. He's going to curb stomp Lesnar, and either they're both going to be out, or because he cashed in, a pinfall's now okay, and he's going to curb stomp Brock when he's at his weakest, which he's done before at WrestleMania 35. So this is believable because Seth has beaten Brock twice. So this is a believable scenario. Again, I go for believability. He can take out Brock, pin him 1, 2, 3, and becomes the champion. So Roman loses his title without being involved in the decision. So it doesn't bury the tribal chief at all. Then maybe we see a scenario where Seth and Roman go one-on-one, but I want to see Seth hold on to the title. Here's what I'm thinking. He's going to hold on to the belt, and he's going to run roughshod as the champion. He's going to dominate until, I would say, we get to about the Royal Rumble. And hopefully by that time, Cody's healed up. Cody comes back at the Royal Rumble. Cody wins the Royal Rumble. And then you have him and Seth freaking Rollins at WrestleMania. And Cody takes the belt from Seth Rollins, which works because Seth put him on the shelf. Remember, he's the one that took Cody out. So you got that whole scenario, and Cody at WrestleMania wins the title that they took from his father in the garden, and you complete the story. So, in the spirit of that, I'm going with Seth freaking Rollins.
His beard is very, very smooth. He does some balming here.
Yes.
Yeah, he has that good beard balm there.
Is it creepy?
Is it creepy that I'm doing this? Is it creepy that I'm doing this? It kind of does look like he's like yeah. Okay, then I'll stop. Okay.
Yes, he's got that sexy as hell hair care.
You notice everybody up here has a beard except for the bro.
Yeah.
Except for the bro all the way in the corner over here.
Well, it makes sense because they're all adults and he's a child. So I get that.
Yeah, that was actually really funny. Okay. We got to get down to business here, Pooch. The producers have told me we're running out of time already. We only talked about one match. We spent all our time talking about past stuff, and that's what we do here. You're going with Seth Rollins, Pooch. He's on the landing page for Money in the Bank on WWE.com. It's literally meant to be. If there was one other person that I would choose, it would be Riddle. And for that reason, I think the WWE is swerving us here. I think they want us to believe this hyper drama of Seth Rollins cashing in, Becky Lynch cashing in eventually, both of them being the power couple of WWE, which we have both said on the show would be amazing, right? Eventually, It's going to happen. It's happened before. It's going to happen again, this time long term. But I think it's going to be a weird kind of workaround. I think some things are going to happen in the meantime. I think they want Riddle to have this briefcase because him and Randy aren't going to last forever. And he is an ambassador to this brand. Like, he's selling the most merch. And ultimately, Boots, it comes down to that. So for that reason, I'm going with the ultimate bro 420, bro. Riddle, man. Riddle is going to win this match. Woo. Feeling good. Feeling good. Feeling great. How are you? Okay, so let's talk about the next one, Booch. I guess since we've talked about the dudes, we got to talk about the ladies. What say you?
Yeah, let's go to the ladies.
Okay. Well, it looks like with this match, Booch, we know all of our contenders. Let's name them out. Go ahead, from left to right. Go ahead, Booch.
We got Becky Lynch. We got Alexa Bliss. We've got Liv Morgan. We've got Raquel Rodriguez. We got Lacey Evans, we got Asuka, and we got Shotzi.
Okay, so process of elimination. Shotzi's gone, right?
Yeah.
This is good for her. It's an honor to be in the match, kind of thing. Cool. All right. Who's this girl? I have no. Is she a SmackDown? She's on SmackDown, obviously.
The Raquel. You talking about Raquel? Yeah, Raquel Rodriguez. She got called up from NXT.
Yeah, she's filling in this match, Boot. She is also not going to win. So 2 eliminated. The rest are actually legit contenders, in my view. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've eliminated 2. Booch, you picked last time first. Here's my rationale for the winner of this match. I think on its face, it would be super, super easy to go with Becky Lynch. But I just feel, Booch, I feel like we in the South in the summer, and a sassy Southern belle has really, she's got me sweating, Booch, and for that reason, I am gonna go with Lacey Evans. She's coming back from her injury, whatever it was, having a baby. God knows really what it was, but here it is. I'm going with Lacey Evans to win the Money in the Bank. What say you?
Well, she was definitely having a baby because that was talked about.
See, I didn't even know that, and I felt like
it was. Yeah, that's why they killed the whole storyline with because originally, before she left, she was in a feud with Charlotte Flair, and she was kind of cozying up to Ric Flair.
And that's right. Okay, yeah.
But they had to, that back. When she got pregnant and left, they had to kill it. Where basically Rick and Charlotte hugged backstage, and Rick apologized for his inappropriate behavior and all that. So they had to quickly write that storyline out. But because Lacey did get pregnant, but now they've got her on this like gimmick where I don't even know if she's a face or a heel anymore. But I know they bring up her being in the Marines and the military, which is true statement. And I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again because it bothers me. If you want to talk about her time in the military, that's fine. But you cannot talk about her serving as a Marine and then make her a heel. It doesn't work. Because no one wants to boo, unless you're an asshole. No one wants to boo someone who served in the military. Unless you're a real despicable person, which Lacey isn't.
Yeah,
So
it's
it doesn't
no,
work.
you're right. You're right.
It doesn't
You don't
work.
need to explain it anymore. We get it.
Exactly. So that
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. So I hope she's a baby face, but Lacey's definitely somebody I would pick. There's a part of me that's scared that Asuka could win because I'm always afraid whenever she's in a women's title situation. I don't think WWE would want to do that to us again. We suffered enough. Alexa Bliss is a possibility. They've given her back her old gimmick. They got rid of the crazy lady with the dolly thing, I think.
Oh, no. She brings it, but it's not part of the, like, she has it with her, but the doll doesn't really do have its own time anymore.
Yeah, it's just kind of there for the fans to cheer. I get it.
Mhm.
Liv Morgan, I got a sneaking suspicion about her only because it's a briefcase and they want to push Liv Morgan for some god awful reason.
She's gotten better. Can we agree? She's gotten better. She's
better than the last time I saw her like wrestle. Like,
when was that?
Better. Like the Royal Rumble was when I couldn't stand her. She had that horrible match with Becky Lynch at day one.
It just seems like she's always part of these tag team matches where there's like 3 people on each side and nobody gets enough time to really show anything. And it's just
so. And after the shocking moment with Nikki ASH, I'm feeling like they're going for a shock value here, and I'm so. This is a part where I'm really stuck. So
we get unstuck. We're running out of time, bitch.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll the dice. This goes against everything I believe in, but I think there's a swerve involved.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with Liv Morgan.
Live you live in the live life. That's a lot of living.
I'm saying because there's a briefcase involved, they might use that to pull the trigger since she hasn't been able to win legitimately. So give her a briefcase, let her cash in when the heel least expects it. So I'll go with Liv Morgan.
All right. There you go. So I got the sassy Southern Belle and you got Liv Morgan. Let's keep it in the ladies division, right? This one, I think we both will agree on who the winner is going to be, Booch. And that is clearly not Natalya. I mean, she's cool to do this match. Like, I'm going to be interested to see how they do this, but I'm having a hard time. Like, I'm having a real hard, because I don't want her to be embarrassed. She's not a gimmick. Like, she's part of the Hart family. They need to be honored and respected. She's not a Doink the Clown. She's not even, and I'm not trying to knock ASH for her, superhero gimmick. She's not a funny character. Like, that's who she is. Natalya, she's like part of the dungeon, So I hope this match serves both correctly, but obviously this is a match to propel Ronda Rousey forward. So I probably, like you, I'll let you go first, Booch, but am I right in saying that you're going to pick Ronda Rousey?
Absolutely. Because they're not going to drop that. She's not going to drop that title anytime soon.
Yeah.
And I will say this, despite the fact that I hate Natalya's gimmick, and I'm a little upset that she's not still in NXT because I feel like she would be more beneficial there than on SmackDown.
Yeah, as a leader.
As much as I love Natalya, she's not getting another run with a title. Unless it's the NXT women's title, which I would rather see her with that because she could then elevate NXT. But on the main roster, Natalya's had some runs with a title, but again, she suffers from that Hart family curse where she is incredible as an in-ring technician, but as far as promos and gimmicks, she's terrible. And that's the only, with the exception of Owen, every Hart member's been like that. They all know how to work, but they don't know how to talk. That's their problem. Put a microphone in their hand. They don't know what to do. That parody of Ronda she tried to pull was so cringeworthy. Ronda came out.
And okay, but to her credit, not her fault. They should know that, right? It's like they're trying to force things that don't work.
Yes.
Again, terrible booking, and we could go on all day about that, Booch. So bad gimmicks, bad writing, but all that aside, this match
is going to work because Natalya, as I said before, she's a great in-ring technician. Ronda is a great fighter, but as a wrestler, there's still some things she needs to know.
Sure.
Like Ronda can get by with her strengths, as long as the person she's in the ring with plays to her strengths, it can work. So Natalya is perfect because she'll get experience on how to technically wrestle because Natalya is going to make her, but also Natalya will know how to play to her strengths and hide her weaknesses. And that's what makes a good match. And that's what makes a good veteran and a good ring general. When you know what someone's weaknesses are in the ring and you hide them and accentuate the strengths they bring to the table to make the match look good. So that way they don't look embarrassed and you don't look embarrassed. A lot of wrestlers today don't grasp that concept. That's why so many of their matches are bad. But Natalya
they
is smart.
just want to shine.
They just want to helping
their partner shine. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the old saying, you don't outwork your opponent, you work with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you make a match great. And Natalya knows how to do that. So the match is going to be phenomenal.
I hope so.
The promos have been bad, mostly on Natalya's side, a little on Ronda's side too, but not much. But the match itself is going to deliver, and Ronda's going to win, and Natalya is going to make her look like $1 million.
Okay, so here's the side bet on this. This will be a tiebreaker. Submission or pinfall?
Submission. Armbar, tap out. Ronda has a pinfall move like that Piper's Pit thing, but her armbar is her trademark.
Okay.
Her armbar is a trademark. She's going to tap to the armbar.
Okay, all right, so here's the tiebreaker if we end up tying in the overall matches, like
if we tie the overall matches, we'll throw this in.
All right, just to counter you, I will say she will win by pinfall. Make sense?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, so there we go. There's our tiebreaker. This match to me, Booch, is pretty interesting because in some ways, a lot of people view Austin Theory as hand-selected by Vince McMahon. Hand-selected to be an ambassador, and I get it. Like he has got the looks. He's handsome. Let's be honest. I'm not hyper hetero here in Wenz world. Hyper hetero. No homo. Hashtag no homo. If that's a hashtag, I probably just got canceled for that. I don't really care. Whatever. But here it is. I mean, Bobby Lashley really has nothing to gain by winning this match. Am I off base by saying that? Because I don't think I am. I think that Bobby Lashley can lose this match, and he probably will lose this match. And for that reason, Booch, I am really probably picking the underdog in Austin Theory, but I am going to go with Austin Theory to win this match.
100% Austin Theory is winning this match, and I'm going to tell you why. Because from what I saw on Raw and the rumors I've been reading, the plan for SummerSlam is Theory versus Cena. They're going to have a match at SummerSlam. That's Austin Theory's been kind of talking trash about Cena on social media. Cena's been kind of responding, but humbly responding like way Cena does as a nice guy. And that's why Theory was the one guy.
But real quick on John Cena, he doesn't actually believe in human rights. Real talk. Like he's not about apart from these people. He's like, oh, but China, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about Bruno, but you know, he's but real talk in Wenz world, we understand that. And I'm not sold on that. I just want y'all to know that like, we understand that those people that are being silenced under regimes across the world, we understand they are being silenced. And like people like John Cena and LeBron James that say, I don't want to talk about that. Hong Kong, we don't want to talk about that. We talk about that. So I'm not a John Cena, D rider here in Wenz world. So just know that I respect the guy for his talent, but I also know that he's not JC 2.0 here. So
exactly.
I'm just saying all that aside, go back to the match, but yeah.
But I'm saying like, because that's why, like, if you notice when Cena came back for that 20-year thing, everybody's saying, hey, how you doing? Or whatever. Theory's the one guy that got in his face.
Sure.
It's because they're trying to, they're planting the seed for that match. So Theory needs to look good going into that match. So by beating Bobby Lashley, that gives him a little bit of confidence, a little bit of I just beat Lashley and he's a big muscular guy. So I can take Cena. John Cena. Yeah. I can beat up
the
Cena.
Almighty. I can beat John Cena. Sure.
Exactly. So that's why I think Theory's going to win. They're going to use that to set him up for the match with Cena at SummerSlam.
There you have it. All right, Booch. And then there was one, the EST of WWE, Booch. There's no way, right? Okay, right? You go first, but is there a way that she loses to her? Unless Corey Graves comes in the ring and beats her up? Like, I mean, is there an actual way?
That is the only way that is happening on this planet or any other. And I like Carmella. I don't hate on Carmella at all. I am a fan. But no, she's not beating Bianca Belair outright. And the only way Corey should be interfering is if he's gonna get back in the ring.
Because he's not. His neck is messed up, right?
But I'm just saying, they've been talks that he might be okay or something, but I don't know if they plan on putting him back in the ring full time or let him be one of those announcers that used to wrestle but will occasionally get in a ring, like Pat McAfee's about to mix it up with Corbin at SummerSlam. Looking forward to that.
King, or
Jerry Lawler when he would occasionally wrestle. But the thing is, and the reason I say this is because if Corey Graves costs Bianca that title, Montez Ford is paying him a visit. Because for those who don't know, they're married, Bianca and Montez. So,
do you think they can bring that in? Do you think they'll bring it in like publicly?
They've done it before briefly.
No, with these two?
Not with these two, no, but in the past they have. They've made it clear because remember when the Street Profits and Bianca used to do those 6-person tag matches during the pandemic?
Yeah.
That's when they kind of brought up the fact that they were together. So people know they're married. So if that happens, Corey Graves is going to have a match with Montez down the road. There's going to be a match between them. Montez is going to pull Corey Graves into the ring and beat the piss out of him. We may even see some mixed tag matches between them if that happens. So if Corey Graves is planning on getting involved, Carmella is going to win. But again, the chances of that happening are slim to none. I don't see Corey Graves getting in the ring, which is why I think Bianca's going to retain, because I don't see Carmella winning this match.
You know, I'm having like a hard time because like this is such a logical opinion. You know, like this looking at this match, like clearly Carmella is nowhere near skill level, believability. She's nowhere near as over as Bianca Belair. Bianca is the EST. I mean, and she's so fun and just bubbly. And how can you not like Bianca Belair? And you gotta wonder, are they gonna really do this at Money in the Bank? Are they gonna say, Bianca, you're losing it tonight in June or July? I'm sorry, early July. We're taping this at the end of June, the last day of June. So you understand, we haven't even seen SmackDown. Not that much will change, but the mystery person in the men's match we may know Friday night. I don't know. They may put it up on the website tonight. This being, midweek here. So, Booch, I almost want to go out on a limb here and say that Carmella is somehow going to win this championship. Okay. And then Bianca is going to win it back at SummerSlam. But then I think, what the hell is wrong with you, Wenz? Why would you even think something that crazy would happen? But I'm going to go out on a limb. I cannot believe I'm doing this. This is what costs me every time against you, Booch. I make these crazy assertions. The underdog is going to win, and then they don't, and then I lose. But why change now, Booch? It's not about the W. It's what you put into the W, right?
Exactly. It's why I picked Liv Morgan, so we're pretty much both rolling a dice.
This would be the tiebreaker in the Natalia Ronda Rousey match will be the thing, and she'll end up doing the submission.
Exactly. She'll tap out and I'll win.
But I cannot believe I'm doing this. What the hell are you doing? I'm going with Carmella. I don't think she's better. I don't think she deserves it. I don't think anything other than they are going to swerve us so big with this. I am going with Carmella. to win at Money in the Bank over Bianca Belair. And somehow the hair is going to be used. She's going to use it as a choker. The ref is going to get distracted. Corey may leave the announce table and get up and do something. That's how it would lead into that. And that's why I think, based on your opinion, based on what I kind of know about Carmella, and if there is truth to the dirt sheets that Corey's coming back, like, I didn't think he was ever coming. I thought it was a career ender, but hey, we've seen career-ending injuries fixed, right? Resolved with the right therapeutics. By the way, Jeff Cavalier, Athlete Next, check him out. Trainer to the pros. That dude's legit. Anyway, I'm going with Carmella. This is insane. We are going to have a winner, Booch, right? Do we have a clear cut? Are we? We're split, right?
We, like I said, we've only agreed on 2 matches thus far. And the Money in the Bank, anything can happen, because if somebody wins other than Seth or Riddle, we don't get points. And if anyone wins other than Liv Morgan or Lacey Evans, we don't get points. So if somebody else wins, there's no points.
You will be awarded no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Exactly.
Booch, is there one more match? Do we have one more match?
Yes. We have one more match here for the undisputed tag team titles.
Championships.
The Usos defend against the Street Profits.
Wait, have they been down since day one-ish?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going with the Street Profits because they're up and coming, and I feel like the Usos are on the decline. Even though every time I bet against the Usos, I lose, this is going to be the time I win for betting against them. Make sense?
I love the Street Profits. They're my favorite tag team in WWE, but I've learned my lesson. I don't bet against the Usos, so I'm going with the Usos.
And also, the picture of these two ladies is way prettier than a picture of the Usos and the Street Profits. Just saying.
Exactly. Yeah, totally.
Just saying. So there you have it. Our predictions here in Wenz World. We will never, ever leave an episode without 2 key elements, one of which is have a nice day.
The other is bang, bang.